You understand the rules? You check their car into the Wardman you drive when you get to Harleyville.
Yeah, but they give me a car to drive back. Where do I sign this thing?
Right here. Oh, what's the matter with you, kid? You all right?
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous.
Yeah?
Okay. I'm getting married tonight.
Oh.
Well, see you around.
What's the matter?
Please.
You didn't tell him.
I tried to, Tommy, honestly, but he got so furious. He said if I ever married you, I could never come home again.
The reform school bit again. All right, let's tell him.
No, please. I know what I'm doing. I'm a little scared, but I love you, Tommy, and that's all that matters now. Tommy, please.
I took an extra 10 minutes from lunch today so I could stop by and put a deposit on the apartment. What? Here are the keys. Oh, but Alice, that place is so crummy, especially the kitchen.
I told you, it doesn't matter. It'll be fun fixing it up. Besides, you don't even know if I can cook.
Oh, honey, inside of a year I'll finish that night school course and... Well, what I mean is the apartment's not for keeps. I'll finish the course and I'll get you an apartment. What am I talking? I'll get you a house.
Tom!
Where do you live, Tom?
8160 Mannix Drive.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm an aircraft worker. I go to school.
This car registered to you?
No, I rented this.
Kids are pretty lucky. Inch one way or the other, you might have been dead. You know that. Turn around.
Hey!
Turn around and spread.
What are you doing?
Turn around.
He didn't do anything. He just tried to avoid hitting that old man. We're going away to get married, that's all.
And you wait 20 years, lady? That's the terminus date for transporting dope.
Briefs on an antitrust case when Ralph Carlson came to see me. Several years before, I'd helped him get a job as a parole officer. Now he'd come back to ask another favor, but not one for himself.
All right, that does it. Now, Ralph.
Will you take the case, Mr. Morris?
I'm sorry, Ralph.
Will you at least see the boy?
From what you've told me, the evidence all points to his guilt. But if you feel so strongly about his innocence, there are other legal channels.
I've tried them all. That's why I'm here this morning, Mr. Morris. Tom Nelson went to reform school at 15. He came out a tough, hard little punk. And naturally, I had to draw him out of the file. That's because I was new on the job. I took it all out on the boy. I was going to teach him a few things. But he taught me, Mr. Morris. People aren't headlines, or file case numbers, or items in corporation reports.
These items in corporation reports represent 6 months of hard legal work.
I'm sorry. I'm the one that ought to be doing a favor for you, not the other way around. But if I didn't know that this boy couldn't have done it, do you think I'd have come to you?
Ralph, you're very persuasive.
All I ask is that you talk to him.
And when it does, the four rocks of perdition will strike and spew into the multitudes. And you saw, where will you be? Where will you be when the Holocaust works its way into your life? And you're a new man here, but the time will come when he will find that judgment will pay.
Do you have any idea how much time and effort has gone into making my business what it is today? One of the largest car rental chains in the country? No, of course you don't. Oh, you would never have dragged my manager, Mr. Turner, in here and smeared the name of my company all over your police records.
Turner has been released. The questioning was purely routine.
Routine? How I liked it. This little fiasco is going to cost me an awful lot of money. To say nothing of the headaches I can expect from the Interstate Commerce Commission.
So tell me, Mr. Woodman, exactly what is it you expect?
Protection, Lieutenant. Protection. It's up to you to keep these hopped-up little toughs from using my cars. And if anything else like this happens, I assure you I will turn the matter over to my legal staff. Good day, Lieutenant. Pardon me.
What was that all about?
Oh, say, before you say anything, it better not have anything to do with the Nelson case.
I'm afraid this has to do with the Nelson case, Lieutenant.
Oh, no. I'm up to here on that.
Look, I've checked the boy's record. He's kept his nose clean since he left the reformatory.
Well, tell me, Counselor, exactly how much checking did you do? Do you know the rap that Nelson went to reform school on was accessory to murder? He was gunning a getaway car while his junkie brother shot a druggist to death for a handful of pennies.
Now, Lieutenant.
Dope is one of the filthiest, rottenest things I have to deal with in my job. If I had my way, I'd send him and every peddler and pusher up for life.
I would like a pass to see him, Lieutenant.
All right, but you can make a deal with him for me. The only deal. Either he spills on the ones up top in the racket. Names, dates, drop routes, and everything. Or I'll personally see the books thrown at him. Charlie?
Lieutenant said he wanted names, dates, and places.
Look, if you're not going to believe me, why don't you just let me alone?
Lieutenant Weston doesn't play games. He said that's the deal, and that's it.
What do you want me to do, look grateful?
You mean you think you're tough?
Oh, I'm not tough. I just didn't do what they said I did. Look, you're not going to believe me. They're not going to believe me, so why fight it? I didn't send for you in the first place, so blow. All right, go, Mr. Maris. Well, what about Alice? Are they holding Alice?
Is she a user? Is that why you're hauling the stuff?
No. You think I touch dope?
No. Just grab a quick dollar out of the ones that are hooked? Like your brother?
Well, now, you shut up. You shut up. You think you got it all figured out, don't you? Well, you don't. You don't know. I was 14 years old before I knew what was wrong with Ed. He was just like anybody else. It wasn't bad. Until he started having to have the stuff. Then I'd get sick watching him. I saw Ed shot down. I watched him die. But it wasn't the cops killed him. Junk. You think I pushed dope? Well, let me tell you something. Before I pushed...
If Tom Nelson was innocent, then somebody had set up that dope drop. Perhaps someone at the U Drive outlet where Tom had rented his car. I decided to take a closer look at this operation and question the manager, Chet Turner. How many cars go out of here every day?
Well, it depends. Weekends, we got more.
Don't you have a record of them?
Sure, we got a record. Look, I'm kind of busy today, mister, huh?
Check every car that goes out of here thoroughly before you lease it?
I'm not answering anything more. You got no right here unless you got a warrant or something. You got a warrant?
What are you so afraid of?
Nothing.
Just a minute. From the time Nelson left here to the time he hit the lamppost, he didn't get out of the car. That means the dope was taped to the bumper when it left here.
You're crazy, mister.
Why are you so intent on pressing this case against Nelson?
You better get out of here before you make a lot of trouble for yourself.
What kind of trouble? A frame-up like the one that Nelson's in?
Beat it.
I'll be back. I want to see what else beside gas fumes smells around here.
Yes? Oh, Turner. I understand. Well, look, if you'll stop jabbering and let me talk, it's all going to be taken care of. All right, and Turner, we'll hold off on the shipment for this week. Yes.
They're expecting that shipment.
I've stuck my neck out far enough. There'll be no more cars going out with orders until I say so.
It's a business, Mr. Wardman. Business should be run on schedule. The organization...
The organization is not my worry right now.
It's mine. That's why I was sent here.
Martin. There's a lawyer poking into the Nelson case. I think it should be nailed shut. I know how to do it.
Can I help?
Yes, you can.
We're a step ahead of you, Counselor. Ran an FBI check on Turner.
What'd you turn up?
Extortion. 15 years ago, he did 6 months.
Extortion? That changes everything. That means...
Oh, now, wait a minute, Herb. The fact that a man's got a 15-year-old conviction on his record doesn't really prove anything. You ought to know that better than anybody else.
Look, if Turner's a convicted extortionist, that could...
Excuse me, Herb.
There's a great possibility...
Excuse me, please. Hello? Yes, speaking. Thank you. Narcotics squad, Herb. Got a tip from an informer that just about washes your client's case down the drain. You want to come along?
We checked with the man you had tailing her, Lieutenant. She couldn't have passed this stuff. She was only out to the market for a few minutes.
You checked that chandelier?
You're making a case on the basis of an informer?
Counselor, I don't make the ground rules. The killers do that.
Lieutenant! Here it is.
Heroin.
Mr. Maris, I swear I don't know how it got there. Honestly, I didn't lie to you. Please. I give you my solid word of honor. I don't know how it got there.
Last Tuesday's paper, the day before we picked up Nelson. Counselor, it looks like this just about wraps up the case on your client.
How can I tell you how it got there when I don't even know? Look, Mr. Maris, I was in that apartment maybe 10 minutes, long enough to leave some clothes after I rented it.
But Alice was there.
Well, now, sure she was there. That's where we're going to live after we was married. Mr. Maris, stop trying to drag Alice into this. You hear me?
She could have set up the whole thing. Tipped somebody off about the car you were going to rent, planted the dope in the apartment.
Mr. Maris, I don't want you for my lawyer anymore. I just don't want anything to do with you.
How are you so certain that Alice didn't frame you?
Because I know she wouldn't. Because that's how I know she wouldn't.
Oh, no. That's not good enough.
Well, it's good enough for me. Look, Alice is the only person in the whole world who ever spent 2 cents with a feeling on me. The only one. You've seen her, Mr. Maris. You know what she's like.
And it's got to be you drive outfit. It's got to be Turner.
You know, for a lawyer of your reputation, you seem remarkably shy of evidence.
Well, if I had the facts, I wouldn't have come to you. But I do have logic. Now, you have a national chain of car rentals, a perfect setup for transporting narcotics.
Oh, come
Now, someone rents a car from you. Tom Nelson, me, anyone. It's a simple matter for a package of dope to be hidden in the car and then taken off at the end of the trip in another city. This racket is worked from inside your organization.
Mr. Maris, you like this?
Yes.
This piece of jade is ageless and very expensive. This vase, over 1,000 years old. And this. Beautiful, isn't it? Those dogs of Fu, they can be traced clear back to the first Ming Dynasty. So they tell me. You know, it took an awful lot of car rentals to pay for all this. When I started out, I worked in a dinky little office in the back of a filling station. I have no intention of going back to that. Bad publicity? The public would no longer rent my cars. No, Mr. Maris, I'm afraid your client has already caused me enough trouble.
I realize this may be troublesome for you, Mr. Wardman, but Tom Nelson is innocent.
So you say.
I not only say it, I'm going to prove it to you. I'm only asking you to give Nelson the same kind of understanding you've given a man with Turner's background.
I pick my managers very carefully, Mr. Maris.
But you knew he had a felony conviction on his record?
No. No, I didn't.
Extortion. Chicago, 15 years ago.
I see. Just what is it you want from him, Mr. Maris?
Put a man you can trust at the outlet and audit Turner's books. Now, you may not find out anything. The man's not stupid. But I do think he'll scare.
Yes, it's possible that he might be frightened into giving himself away if your accusations are correct.
I'll put as much legal pressure on him as I can. I think between the two of us, we can make him crack.
Maybe right. All right. I'll get to work on it from my end.
Good.
Turner?
Yes. Didn't tell us he had a police record. This could be bad at this point. It could cause trouble.
That's right. Listen, if you want to talk to the owners, you talk to them. That's Wardman. It's not me, as you know. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, this is just a roust, and I'm not scared by it. If you think I am, go find yourself another boy.
Oh, yeah? Well, I ain't gonna budge nowhere without a lawyer says. And you can trot yourself down here anytime you feel like it, and Mr. It ain't gonna do you a nickel's worth of good. Oh, that Maris is a pain.
Is that Turner?
Yeah.
Is he dead?
Yeah, that's why I called you.
An accident?
Well, it was supposed to look that way. That's why I had the medical examiner check him over before we pulled him out. He was hit over the head, dragged under the car, and somebody released the air in the hoist.
When did this happen?
According to the medical examiner, about an hour ago.
I was talking to him on the phone an hour ago.
Talking to him about what?
I was going to subpoena him for a deposition today.
Somebody panicked.
Which means that somebody higher up was worried that Turner was going to crack.
Considering the state of Turner's health right now, I'd say you were right.
Wardman. Turner was the only link to him. It's got to be Wardman.
Maybe you're right about Wardman being the top man. But Turner's dead. How can we prove it?
If he didn't do it himself, he ordered it done.
I'm going to run a 24-hour check on Wardman and see what we come up with.
He's smart enough to have himself covered all the way on this charge.
I'm afraid you're right.
The only way to pin it on him is to catch him with the narcotics.
Sure. But how?
Well, he wouldn't take a chance on having it here. He's smart. He probably doesn't trust anybody. He'd have it close by where he could get his hands on it.
Wardman's the kind of a guy to think that way. His car.
Yeah, too easy to search.
Maybe his apartment.
That's it. I'm willing to bet it's the apartment.
Wait a minute, Herb. I can't get a search warrant, and you're willing to make a bet?
Wardman doesn't know anything about Turner's dying yet, does he?
Just a minute, Herb.
Please, Lieutenant, I want you to do two things for me, unofficially, without breaking any regulations. Clamp down tight on the news of Turner's dying. Pull up in front of Wardman's apartment in exactly an hour. And if you want me, I'll be up there.
Anything else?
Yes, one other thing.
Mr. Maris, you're making some pretty wild charges.
Oh, stop it, Wardman. You played your string out.
Really?
Yes, that's right, really. Your HUD bungled the job when he tried to kill Turner. I wonder if you're going to be quite as smug when you're faced with a full statement from Turner.
Implicating me?
Completely.
Well, if that's the case, then isn't it strange that it's you who were here instead of the police?
I'd suggest you take a look out that window. Go on, take a look. Go ahead. The only reason I'm here is to see that nothing happens to you until you clear Tom Nelson.
I see. And you'd like to make an arrangement of some sort?
Well, I can't offer you immunity, but I can offer you advice. It'll go a good deal easier with you if you'll turn state's evidence.
Implicating others who are associated in this little business?
That's right.
Now, Mr. Maris, you're really an excellent lawyer. But in this case, I'm afraid you're wrong. Because I'm sure Mr. Martin and my other associates would not find your advice acceptable.
That's right. Get rid of the stuff.
Over there, police! Herb, are you all right?
I'm all right. You try breaking in here, I'll kill him.
Get away from that window. I like the odds, Counselor. It's a long time before the trial.
Get this scum out of here.
Herb, you all right?
I'll be all right in an hour. Well, you got your evidence. What are you so unhappy about?
Oh, I'm thinking about tomorrow.
What about it?
There are 60 tenants in this building. They're all going to be phoning in complaints. Because you asked me to have their water turned off.
I'll see that you get a good lawyer.